diversity and inclusion. And when you think about diversity and inclusion, what you think, and in particular, bro, can you stand really fast? And you three? So here are, just stand right here, right in front of the table. When you think about, so here are representatives of the four kind of main, wait, who's Native American in here? Are you Native American? You are? Can you come down really fast? I think we talked earlier in the semester, right? No. Oh, we didn't? Okay, cool. All right. Well, we'll talk later. Right now I just need you to stand here, but later we will talk, okay? So listen, so here are representatives of kind of what we talk about as we often talk about the main demographic groups, right? Our Latino representative, our Asian representative, the white representative, are you white, bro? You're white, right? Okay. Our black representative and Native American representative, okay? So think about diversity and inclusion. What comes to mind? Looking at them. So you all think about all of the issues that come into play with diversity and inclusion. What are the questions you have? What are the statements that you can make about the representatives of these groups right here? Okay? What are the issues? What can you say? What can you not say? What are the struggles? What are the things that we're arguing about regarding Latinos and Latinas? Regarding Black Americans, regarding Native Americans, regarding Asians, white people, like what are the main issues? What are like the convergence points, right? The pivot points. Okay? So, all right, y'all, have a seat. Thanks, man. We needed the visual. So here's what I need now. I need 4 volunteers who are willing to talk a little bit about your lives. And I need 4 people who think they are probably the wealthiest people in the class. And I need somebody who's white, who's really wealthy, someone who's black, who's really wealthy, Asian. So it could be Southeast Asian, could be Indian Asian. We're not going to go up any further. And then someone who's Latino or Latina or Hispanic. The wealthiest, y'all, right? Like you just know, like I'm probably am. You say you? Well, I don't mean you, but your parents and stuff. Yeah? It's her? Okay. And are you black? You're mixed? Hang on a sec. Wait, hang on though. I want to see if I can get... Yo, you think it's you? You think it's this guy too? Okay, can you go up to the front? Hold tight. We'll come back. And okay, who's white? I need the white person. Our white, rich representative. Hang on. By the way, no, sit on the table, bro. Let me just say really fast, you're not going to be, bro, you think it's you? Wait, hang on. Are there any? Stand up a sec. Look at this guy right here. White people. Is there anybody who thinks like, nah, man, I definitely got to be wealthier than that guy. Look at the way he's dressed. Are you nuts? All right. Okay. And then I need Hispanic. Of all the Latinos or Hispanics in the class, who thinks that they're likely to be from the wealthiest family? Somebody. And Asian, by the way, and Asian. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to make you say things you don't want to say. I'm not going to say things for which people will attack you on Twitter. You might get a couple marriage proposals, but otherwise, bro, you think it's you? And no, I need Hispanic and coming from money, a lot of money. Is it you? All right, dude. Here's our Hispanic person, and now I need someone who's Asian. Come on, the Asian representative. Dude, is it you? Is this the guy that drives the Rolls Royce in town? Wait, is it this guy? Wait, hang on, Chinese people. Just help us out here. Pick out who it is and raise their hand for them. Seriously, it's not that guy? Come on, I need an Asian representative, y'all. Hurry up, we don't have a lot of time. Who's it going to be? Is it you? You think it's you? Or is it or do you know it's, bro, you think it's you, bro? Hang on. Well, hang on. Do you guys know each other? You think it's you, bro? Yeah? All right, go ahead. You can just sit. You can sit on the table. You can. It's.
I'm not gonna my mom. Dude, I feel so awkward. I just made a bet that I get.
But hang on. Can you say it in Mandarin?
有钱人吓了一下。
Yeah, hang on. He's going to talk to the Chinese people in like rich Chinese language to find the wealthiest Chinese person who's driving that Rolls Royce.
Yeah, but there's a ton of people like rich as shit. Chinese.
Could it be this guy?
I mean, just look at name brand and stuff.
Dude, tell him in Chinese how rich you are and see if anybody is wealthier.
Nah, nobody gonna.
Come on. What kind of car do you drive?
Me?
Yeah.
I was driving a Mustang.
Oh, a Mustang.
Like that's not like a.
Yeah, no.
I know.
What, is that like your third car or something?
I just like try to be a volunteer. I'm not like represent like the richest guy.
No, hang on. I need the richest guy. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
I wish there's some richest guy.
Who is it? I think it's one of those dudes over there.
I bet.
Anybody want to do it? No, I'm not going to put you on the spot. Your families aren't going to disown you. Bro, this guy. All right, we got him right here. All right, dude. Thanks, man. Wait, what's your name again, bro? Yo, you got shamed into coming up. Oh, totally. Dude, totally. Look at you. Hang on, you can sit down at this end next to the black guy. All right, there you are, man. Okay, so let's start. What's your name?
I'm Tim.
What is it?
Tim.
Tim?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. All right, Tim, bro.
I'm Rogers.
Rogers with an S? That's such a rich thing, you know what I mean? It's like we're rich, so we put an S at the end of our name. All right, bro.
My name's Mark.
Mark? All right.
I'm Esteban, but I go by Nino.
Esteban, but go by Nino. Okay. And bro, and so tell them where you're from.
I'm from Dorado, Puerto Rico.
From Puerto Rico?
From America.
America. Dude, hang on a second. Hang on. You guys keep that. This is between you, right? America. Like before it was America, like your ancestors came in on the
No, my ancestors are from Armenia.
from Armenia?
Yeah, and Italy, I think. I don't know.
And you're rich? Yeah. All right, okay, cool. Hang on. Rogers.
My parents are from Nigeria, but I'm from South Jersey.
Nigeria to South Jersey. All right, Tim.
Currently, I live outside of Philly.
Yeah, you currently live outside of Philly?
Yeah.
Your parents are here or they're
Yep.
back?
I'm a fifth generation, so it's been here
Fifth
for a while.
generation? Okay, cool. Oh yeah, that's a lot of time to accumulate wealth. All right. So we're not here's the issue. There are some questions for which you're all going to be asked. I'm going to have you all answer them, but I'm not going to have you answer but not every question. Some questions I'm just going to bounce around, okay? So, let me get it right. Nino, Mark, Rogers with an S, and Tim. All right. So was there ever a question about whether you were going to go to college? And by the way, here's what I need you to do, okay? I need you to paint a picture for the class about your life. Now, you don't have to get into deep specifics, right? I'm not going to ask you, like, what kind of stocks your parents own and that sort of thing, right? But I want you to paint a picture, and you can get as revealing as you want about things, you know, like how big your house is and that kind of stuff, right? But you don't need to go, you don't have to go all the way, okay? So understand. But the class needs to get a picture of who you are. So was it ever a question about whether you would go to college?
It was definitely a question because I would say that I come from a pretty successful family.
Uh-huh.
Where, for example, my dad did a lot in his career.
Did what?
My dad did a lot in his career. He taught at Johns Hopkins for a couple years. He kind of invented a few things. So
Yeah. All right.
So I guess, but everyone else in my family is pretty high achieving. My brother went to an Ivy League, now works at Facebook. My sister goes to private school, and my mom's like a director at a tech company. So I guess that puts pressure on me to also be achieving as well.
And you're at Penn State. So you're the disappointment?
Sure. Now,
Just kidding, bro. just kidding, y'all. Penn State's a good school. It's a good school. It's all right. All right, go ahead. Well, hang on. Let's keep going, and we'll come back. Okay, Rogers. Hang on. You guys keep that mic, and these two will share. Was it ever a question about whether you go to college?
I was always expected to go to college. I went to Catholic school basically my whole entire life. And
You went to where?
Catholic school.
Uh-huh.
And my sister went to Duke, and my mom just always expected me to go to college after that.
So you're just going to go to college. Yeah. And, okay. And by the way, who is going to pay for it?
My parents,
Yeah, everything.
everything.
And Tim, same with you? Was it ever a question about whether they would pay? Wait, hang on.
it was definitely a question because like I didn't want them to pay since they were supporting me my whole life. So I wanted to like give back to them.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were okay with it. So as long as they were okay with it, I didn't argue back.
So since you haven't invented anything yet, it wasn't like, okay, Mark, how about you?
No, I always knew I was going to go to college because I was the third in my family, so I'm the youngest. And my sister went to Georgetown. My brother went here, so I figured my parents would pay for it too. So.
And your parents both went to college, or?
Yeah, my dad went to Ohio Wesleyan, and my mom went to Richmond.
Yep. All right, Nina. Was it ever a question about whether you were going to college?
Well, actually, yeah, because before I actually came out here to Penn State, my dad died in 2016. Well, 2015, my bad.
Hold the
And
mic
when I
close.
graduated in 2016, I thought, shit, I should probably stay home and be there for my brother and my mom in a time of need. But then again, no one in my family has really gone to college, so I'm actually the first one to actually go to college, my whole family. And like I like to be humble about like where I come from and all this shit my mom has done for me, for me to be
Wait,
here.
hang on. Okay, go ahead.
And like, yeah, I gotta give it to my mom for everything because she put me and my brother through like private school, and I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for like the hardship she went through to make sure like
So
I got a good education.
so you went to private schools,
Yes.
and if your dad hadn't died, and you were 16 when he died?
No, I graduated 2016. I was around like 18.
Oh, right, okay. He died right when you graduated. Yeah.
Yeah, around the time.
So if he had not died, it would not be a question about whether you were going to college.
That's correct.
But when he died, that put strain on the family and so on. Okay. So when did you first realize that you came from money?
I guess
That
that's
your family had a lot of money. Okay.
I guess that's a hard question because for me, my family wasn't always wealthy. We definitely, like, for example, when I was younger, we grew up on the streets in a way. Where, like, not, I wouldn't say like the projects, but more like we were living in other people's houses. We were like always looking for food and stuff. So I wouldn't say that we were always healthy, but we definitely like became more wealthy like over time through like hard work, dedication, and all that stuff.
Bro.
I think I realized I was rich when I was like 10.
What happened?
I mean, I just always asked my parents, like, if I could get something. And, like, they would always get me whatever I wanted. But, like, I had to make sure, like, I did good in school and whatnot.
So it was just from fairly early on at 10, you knew that. What kind of cars does your family have?
My dad has a Lambo, a Mercedes, and a Range Rover. My mom has a Lexus, and I drive a BMW.
What year is your car?
I mean, it's kind of old. It's a 07.
It's a what?
It's a 07.
Oh, it's kind of old. Dude, just to put this in context, I drive a 1997 Acura, okay? Just want to put that out there, right? For those of you who think I make a lot of money, that's my car. Bro, what kind of car? Do you have a car? What kind of car? Hold the mic close.
Well, right now I'm driving my parents' Honda CR-V, but the car I have at home is a Mercedes.
All right. And your parents, what do they drive?
My dad drives, well, the main car he drives is a Porsche, and my mom drives an Audi.
The main car he drives. What's his second car? Oh, that's the Rolls Royce. I got it.
No,
What's his second car?
He has a BMW and an Escalade.
A BMW and an Escalade?
Yeah.
Damn, dog. All right, bro. Mark. How about you? Do you have a car?
I mean, I share one with my brother and sister.
Yeah. What is it? What kind of car?
Jeep Wrangler,
Jeep Wrangler. So what kind of cars do your parents drive?
BMW and a Mercedes.
Yeah. They just have one each, or they have
Yeah,
multiple
one
cars
each.
too?
One each.
Yeah. How big's your house?
It's 3 floors. It's got a basement, main floor, and upstairs.
Do you have like an indoor pool or anything?
No, I have a pool, but it's not indoor.
Yeah. So, Nino, how about you? Do you have a car up here?
No, I don't have a car.
Uh-huh.
But back home, my mom has 2 Mercedes and a Ford Raptor in the driveway. I had a car, but, I figured since I'm coming all the way out here, I didn't really need it. So I sold it to actually pay for tuition out here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, do y'all have credit cards?
I mean, my mom's name, yeah, but I try not to spend too much of it because, I will hurt her credit if I did that. Because I'm not working right now.
Uh-huh. Bro, how about you?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Could you have one? Is that because your parents don't want you to have
I mean,
one? or-
it's just like if I need money, I could ask my parents for money, but they don't just give me a credit card.
Well, hey, let me ask you this question. If you needed to replace your laptop, you dropped it coming into class and you needed to replace it, and so you text your parents, hey, I got to buy a laptop and I need it by tomorrow. Would you have the money?
I probably wouldn't get it by tomorrow, but I could probably get it within the week.
Uh-huh. Bro, how about you? Nino?
So, if something like that happens, my mom would definitely understand and, go out of her way to actually get that for me because, the cost of buying that, the benefit of that would be me using it as a tool to learn here.
Uh-huh.
So
you'd have
I
it.
don't go out of my way to buy assets that are too expensive, just for my own personal pleasure.
Yep.
I like to buy assets that I can actually find a use out of it.
Got you. Rogers, how about you? Could you get a laptop by tomorrow morning?
My dad probably gets me the same day.
Yeah. Would he be annoyed at you, though?
No, not really. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pampers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tim, how about you?
It kind of depends, how I dropped the laptop.
Let's say someone knocked it out of your hand. Well, you're going to tell them. You're not going to tell them I was an idiot. I was drunk. I was an idiot. I was going into class, and look what happened.
Well, I'll try to pay for it myself first. If
Yeah.
I can't, then I'll ask my parents. If it's something like that, they'll understand. And
Okay.
if it's something that it's for school, then they'll probably pay for it the same day.
Okay, so listen. What's most misunderstood about people like you in your place, at a place like Penn State, rich kids? What's most misunderstood?
I guess for me personally, is that the reason why a lot of people don't really think that I'm wealthy is because it's the way I dress, it's the way I act. I don't drive a flashy car even though I have one at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess because of that, that's the one misconception that people have. I don't really tell people that I have money because I don't like showing off. I don't like bragging about it.
Uh-huh.
I just want to live my life.
So therefore, kind of not showing, not being eccentric or
Yeah.
kind of conspicuous in the
Yeah.
amount of money you have is difficult.
Yeah, I'll admit I do have a decent amount of nice things. I have a can of Goose. I have other stuff too.
Yeah.
But right now, after this, I was planning on going to the gym. So it's that's why I'm
Yeah, all
not
right.
really dressing
That's
well.
cool. Bro, how about you? What's the most misunderstood thing about being you?
Probably because I'm black, so they don't think I have money like that.
That what is it?
Probably because I'm black, they don't think I have money like that.
So people assume you don't have money because you're
Yeah.
black. Mm-hmm. Right, and you might be the richest kid in the room. But listen, and what else? What's like a hassle about having money?
A lot of people just try to ask me for money. A lot of people just try to use me, and it's just I know you're trying to do, so no.
Got you. So someone's trying to do. I know. Sorry, dude. I was actually going to see if you want to trade cars, but I guess I won't now. Mark, how about you? What's kind of a thing that's kind of a hassle about? What's something that's a little bit of a hassle about having money?
Not really sure. I'm trying to think, but can you come back to me? I'm not sure.
Look, I want to ask a question to white people. Are there any other white people that are no, do you have a lot of money? More than him, probably? Oh, dude. All right, come here. Hang on a sec, bro. Can you?
I think I got more bills in it.
All right. You can just loan him the microphone. You can just stand on the side like Nino. What's like a real hassle about being? What's your name first off?
Jordan,
Jordan. Where are you from?
New Jersey,
We're in Jersey.
North Jersey.
Yeah. Okay. So what's one of the hassles about having money?
My parents have like a lot of money, but I don't get like any of it ever. Like I have a credit card and like I drive a Mercedes, but it's not. People think that's because my parents like spending money on me, and it's not. Like my grandma died in 2013 from a car accident, so my parents got me that car because of the safety. So people assume that I have a lot of money because of that, but my parents don't like spending money on me. Like I have a credit card, but if I have to make any purchase, I have to get it like approved by my mom.
Even like if you
I
buy
have-
a soda out in the hallway?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Like she'll call me about it.
Yeah.
She calls me. I have a debit
dude,
card.
Give your mom a high five for me.
I mean, I don't want to
I
call
have
you
a debit
out, though.
card, but like she sees every purchase I make. So like I can't buy it. If I like buy Grubhub, my mom will call me and ask me what I got.
Oh, yeah?
And like see if it's healthy.
Yo, hold up.
Damn.
I have like the strictest parents.
I don't
Yeah.
want to
like,
call you out though, but like you just said that your parents don't spend any money on you, yet you're here.
Yeah.
But you're here. Do they pay your
that's-
tuition?
They do pay my
So they
tuition.
do spend
They,
100%?
they give me what I need to succeed. They'll
Yo.
pay for my
That's still
tutors.
spending
They
money on
paid
you,
like
right?
when I played soccer. They'd pay for trainers. They'll like they
All
want
right.
me to succeed.
So
If it-
you by contrast, they're not paying. You're not.
My mom is like
She's
definitely
paying
working her
for it.
ass off to like
Yeah.
make sure I'm here.
Yeah, I
right?
got
And I
you.
respect
Okay.
that. But like misconception about me is just like I personally think that others think that I go to college like debt free.
Right.
You know? But even like being from a wealthy family, even though my mom pays for me to be here, there's still like economic hardships that we go through to make
Yeah,
sure that
right.
I'm here. Especially
Right,
after
exactly.
what happened with Maria.
Yep.
It was like a
But
severe negative
if
shock.
your dad hadn't died, that would be, it would be different, though, right? You said. Yeah.
It would be different.
No, but
then-
I hear you. No, I hear you. Yeah, it's not just that you can have a lot of money, but that doesn't mean there aren't
But
hardships.
another reason why I'm out here is just because I want to get a degree in his honor.
Yep.
in his
Okay.
name.
Yo, Mark, really fast. You can just stay right here, bro. Is there? Your parents pay all your tuition, right?
Yeah, they do.
Do they ever do they give you spending money?
Last year they would when I would ask for it because I didn't have a job the summer before going to school last year, but I had a job all last summer, so now they don't. But
Okay, here's final question. What's like, how do you know that someone is in your social class? Like, how do you know that? Like, when you're interacting with all these people and you meet people and you might want to make friends and stuff, how do you know if someone's in your social class? What are the clues? Are there any, like, really quick clues that you're just like,
I have no idea.
are there any questions that you ask them to just kind of pick it out?
I guess what car they drive is probably the best indicator.
Yeah?
For me.
How about you, bro? Yeah, what would you say?
I probably just see like if they're hesitant to like buy certain things like food or something, or like say they just need anything. Like if they're hesitant about it, then like they might not be like the wealthiest.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that you would say really fast? Because I want to wrap it up.
I mean, like, I don't go out of my way to to ask people what kind of money they make. You know, I just make friends because they're people. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a person as well. Like, I don't just go out of the way just to trying to find out like, oh, like, are you as wealthy as me?
No, that's
just
right.
fucked
But
up,
the
you know?
question is, how do you know? Like, how do you know when you meet someone? You're Chinese, right? Who's Chinese? He's like has money or doesn't have money. Like, not is it good or bad? Just how do you know?
If I'm Chinese, like towards other Chinese people, you
Yeah.
said? I guess it's kind of hard because it also depends on how they act.
Yeah.
For example, like I don't judge people on how wealthy they are based on like the stuff they have. Just more like kind of more.
Yes.
how they
No.
act.
It's not about judging. It's just about knowing.
Okay. I guess for me, for example, like I don't know that much about like people like internationally, but for people who grew up in the U.S., a lot of Chinese people do like to talk about their success,
Yeah.
and because of that, like from like how they talk or like what they achieved, I
Yeah.
can kind of like figure out if if they're like wealthy or not.
Got you. Like when you said your father invented a couple things. And so he might have invented something that was irrelevant and he didn't make any money off it, but there are certain cues that you can give. Okay, listen. It happens to be that you're all men, so like here it is. But can you all just have a seat in the chairs right there, really fast? And bro, we need Jeff. Can you get another chair for? What's your Jordan, right? What? Hey, can you guys just make sure you make sure your laptops are off because you're not allowed to have laptops in here. And secondly, if you could just okay, here's what I need now. You ready? He's going to get you a chair, bro. Just in the meantime, just stand there awkwardly, Now I need 4 people who would identify as the poorest people in the class. And I'd like the poorest people in the class. So I need same thing. White representative, black, Asian, and Latino or Latina. You think it's you? Like, no, pretty poor. Like, hang on. We're working on white people right now. So what's your name? Carly. Any other white people think like, nah, it's probably me, man. Anybody? Okay, Carly, you are on. Now I need 3 more people. Asian, Latino, Latina, white. I mean, black. Yo, I need 3 more people. Who is it? Because we want to hear from you. Who do you think it is? In other words, the opposite of these guys. Who is it, y'all? Come on, hang on. There are a lot of black people in here. Are you telling me there's a lot of Asians, a lot of Latinos in here? Who is it? Who's going to tell the story? Dude, you don't have to like have been eating rats for dinner your whole life. It's not. It's. Did you eat rats for dinner growing up? Okay, Carly didn't eat rats for dinner growing up. Who is it? We need 4 people. Who's going to tell the story? Dude, by the way, hang on. Is there like a sense? Whoa, it's really interesting that people aren't just stepping up, right? Is there like it makes me wonder what's the issue of not stepping up and saying, no, maybe it's me. Is there a shame thing or yeah, what's the issue? Bro. Someone always has it worse than you think? Yeah, well, that's not always the case. Right, okay, so if that's what you're thinking, that may not be the case, right? Let me just ask you, what makes, let's just start here, and then you all can kind of judge. So what would you think makes you poor?
It just seems like a lot of people just here at least,
Well, no, tell me about growing up. What do you, do you have a credit card?
I have like a debit card just because like I work, but I work 2 different jobs. I work a job here, and then I have to go back home and work too. And then
Work 2 jobs or work also?
I work 2 jobs.
Back home?
Yeah, and then
Do you have a car?
my mom and I kind of share it. So but I have to give her money to like help pay for it too. And I live with my mom primarily, and my dad, he lives I go visit him. But I know my mom, she helps me, she tries to help me pay, but I know she had to use all of her 401k, I think, and then she works from 7 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night every day.
Where she work?
She gets to work from home, but she does medical insurance claims on the computer.
Okay, so you then have a lot of loans.
Yeah.
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 Okay. All right, so that's what we're talking about here. So who else? By the way, it's really utterly fascinating that the only person thus far who's up here is white, and we're in a race relations class. So, but I need 3 other people. I need a few other people. Who else? All right. Yeah? You could, wait, Yeah, why don't you can come up too. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Is there someone who's black that could be up here? Come on, man. We'll take. Dude, are you? Go ahead. All right, come on up. Now you sort of have a feel for. All right, so Carly, what's your name?
Sarah?
Sarah.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm like outside Philly, which is very common with like northeast of Philly.
Yeah. Okay. And bro, what's your name again? David. Yeah. Yeah. There you are. And bro, what's your
David.
name? David. What's your name? What is it?
Corsi.
Corsi? Yeah. And where's your family from?
The
Dominican Republic?
Yeah, Dominican Republic.
Dude, hang on. Hey, Jeff, we are, yeah. All right, that's cool. Where's your family from?
Chad.
From Chad?
Yeah.
And now, they live here, or just you live here?
I'm here just like by myself, living with like my cousin in Philly, but both my parents are out of the country.
Yeah? Okay. So, Sarah, right? Do you have a credit card?
No, I have a debit card, but
A debit card?
Yeah.
And do you have a car?
not with me. But at my house, I do.
You have one back home?
Mm-hmm.
What kind?
2007 Volkswagen Jetta.
Yeah, 2000. Do you have a car, bro?
Yeah,
What kind?
it's a 2000 Dodge Durango.
2000. And do you have a credit card?
I have my own credit card.
And who's paying for your school?
So I'm like taking loans every semester. Most of them are private loans,
So you're paying for everything.
pretty much. And
Yeah?
they're like in my name as well.
They're in your name?
Yes.
Damn. And Sarah, how about you?
Who's paying for college?
Yeah.
My parents are, but like they like have to take out a good chunk of loans. To, like,
They
do it.
what's that?
They have to like take out like a good chunk of loans. Like they can't just pay it.
So
with
they
their
don't
own
pay
money.
it. They just take out loans. But they're in their names. And what's your name again, bro?
Corsi with a K.
Corsi.
Yeah, Corsi. Yeah.
What? And how about you?
I'm paying, and I paying for all of it, and I have qualified for some like grants and scholarships, but the rest is loans.
Uh-huh. Did your
Mainly
parents go to
federal.
college?
My dad did, but not my mom.
Back in Chad or?
Well, my dad came to he did university in Africa, and he came to the U.S. and he graduated here as well.
Uh-huh.
He finished college here as well, but yeah, just my dad.
Okay. Hang on. Can I just ask black students in class? He's not the poorest black student in the class, okay? His father went to Penn State. So does anybody else want to join us up here?
What, me?
Yeah, you're not the poorest black student. Oh, you didn't come to Penn State? Where did you go to school? Talking about.
University, California, California State University, Sacramento.
Okay, all right. So what is where do you live? Sarah, yeah, let me ask you first. Going back to you, where do you live?
Pittsburgh.
But what kind of house? Like, what's your house like?
I remember my friends told me that it looked like a double wide trailer. It's like it's just like a ranch house. There's 2 bedrooms, two bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I think my dad has a little bit more money than me, but I live with my mom.
Yeah? How about you? What's your house like, Sarah?
It's like a rancher. It's just like 1 floor, and then it's like a basement kind of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bro, how about you?
So I grew up most of my life like poor, but like my parents have recently started coming up. But like for 18 years of my life, we lived in a 2-bedroom house. I am the oldest out of 6 kids, and now we live in a 4-bedroom house. But like that's my family back home. I live on my own here.
Yeah. Okay. And bro, how about you?
I really don't know how to. I mean, I moved a lot. Like growing in middle school and in high school, I moved like a bunch. But I guess I'd say, well, I like my situation got like worse as I went on. So growing up,
How
it was
so?
all right.
How did it get worse?
Just because like my mom and dad were in the country, they lived here, so I was like living with them. So, but they were divorced, but like both situations. Like my mom had like a small apartment, and my dad had like a kind of small house. It was kind of, I guess maybe a little bit on the lower end of things, but still kind of middle class, I'd probably say. Well, my mom was actually she was like she was always working like different jobs, and like we were on welfare, and yeah.
Yeah. And were you expected to go to college?
Probably I'd say probably both.
And David, how about you?
Yeah,
By who? Who expected you to go?
sort of like my parents and my whole family. Mostly because like there's like my family has gone to college and people in my family have gone to college, but nobody's ever finished college.
Uh-huh.
So-
Got it. So you're like you're going to start the new trend.
Yeah.
Sarah, how about you? Were you expected to go?
I would say so. So like I'm the last of 9 kids. I have 8 older siblings, and out of all
Wait,
my
hang on. You have 9 kids? Your parents have 9 kids?
yeah, I'm
Are
the,
you-
I'm the 9th.
You're the oldest?
No, I'm the youngest.
The youngest. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Did any of your siblings go to college?
Yeah, 7 of my siblings went to college.
Okay.
So like, it wasn't like I don't know. I was like, if I didn't go to college, like it was okay because like one of my siblings didn't. But like, I always like, I don't know. If I wanted to, like it was okay.
Got you. And were you, wait, what's your name again?
Carly.
Carly.
Yeah.
Carly. Were you expected to go?
Yeah, like it was kind of like that was just something that was going to happen. I mean, I was always told that I had to get good grades so I could like help pay for it or like some kind of scholarship. But I mean, because like neither of my parents went to college, so it was just like I was expected to go.
Yeah, so they really wanted you to go. Hey, is there anybody in the class who feels like they should be sitting up here? I'm going to give one last opportunity. Bro, one guy. Anybody else? Nobody else? Dude, come on. Are you Latino also? Damn, Latinos. What's your? You can just stand. What's your name?
Eric.
Eric. Where are you from?
I'm from Philly, North Philly. Both my parents. My dad didn't finish high school. My mom, she just got high school education.
Uh-huh. What do they do?
They work at the like Wells Fargo Center, just like average cooks or whatever. They probably make less than like $50,000 a year. So
Together?
yeah, together. I mean, I'm paying for school basically. Like they're paying my interest, but after that, like all the loans go to me. I'm taking out like about $6,000 per semester. So,
6,000 a semester. So do you have a car?
No, I don't got a car. I had a car, but it was like a '97 Honda. So
Dude, I got it. All right. So are you, were you expected to go to college or?
like they tried to put me in a position to go to college, but basically like it was either trade school or college, whichever one I wanted to go to.
So
But
trade school would have been
definitely
okay?
like secondary education.
Yeah, but trade school would have been all right if you'd
trade
have
school
gone.
would've been cool.
Bro, let me ask any of you, would trade school have been okay if you'd have just said, hey, you know what, I want to be a welder, so would that have been all right? Anybody? Dude. You know someone wealthy who did that? Hey, Warren Buffett's kid does one of those big cranes, right? I mean, you know who Warren Buffett is, right? But his kid, if you imagine if your father is like, one of the 3 richest people in the world, so you could do anything you wanted, how many of us would want to sit on top of one of those massive cranes and do that every day? That would be the most awesome thing in the world. So that's what I'd be doing. But all right, bro. So hang on. Let me ask another. What's something that wealthy people don't understand about being poor or about not having a lot of money? Because you all are at various levels of being poor. I wouldn't call you, maybe you a little more so, but what's something that people don't understand about people that don't have a lot of money? Yes, Carly.
I mean, I understand that like I'm not dirt poor because I'm able to go here, but it's
Yeah,
it's
but
a
you're
lo-
taking out lots of loans,
yeah,
right?
and
Right,
it's
okay.
a lot harder. Like there's a lot more pressure on me because I need to maintain certain GPAs if I want to keep certain scholarships. Because I think I have one, but it's like $2,000 a semester. Like it's barely scraping it. But like if I don't have it, then I don't get to go. And like I mean, I think every semester I have to have like my mom and I, we talk about like if we can afford the next semester. So like we just take it like semester by semester about like how much money it costs. So like it's just a lot more stress on top of like already the exams and like the classes, you know.
So that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Does anyone want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here on like like most of my money is scholarships and grants, so I'm trying to keep up with like that also. I mean, just how hard we work, like I feel like they don't like when they think of like poor people, they think of like lazy, but I mean, we're working hard. My parents like, you know, they put in their hours every week. I mean, they don't make a lot, but they put in the hours, so I mean, we work hard.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to add to that?
So my dad works at a manufacturing plant in Simmons, and so does my mom. They both work like 6 days a week. My dad also like works at a garage when he could. So it's like they're always working, and it was really difficult growing up because like most of the time like the caretakers would just be like grandparents or like aunts and uncles. Also like just going here, I have some rich friends, and they'd always like to take trips and stuff, and it's just like, oh, why can't you drive down to Jersey for a weekend and spend 3 nights at a hotel and party? And it's like, because I can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody else want to just add to that really fast?
So this is kind of going off like the scholarships and like grants kind of thing. So I feel like, you know, if you are like poor, like you do like more often get grants and scholarships and stuff. And then like when you talk about getting that stuff, they're like, oh, you're so lucky. Like, you know, you're so lucky you did all that stuff. And like I think we all like really do appreciate that stuff. And like we really like, we're really thankful for it. But like it also like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just, it helps, but it's still like, it's really hard sometimes.
Mm. So I have one final question for the 5 of you. When I asked about getting the people in class who are at the lowest end of the socioeconomic ladder, Carly was the only one that really jumped up, and it was a lot easier to find people at the top. What were you thinking when you didn't initially raise your hand? What were you?
I thought I was just like, I just think there's more people poorer than me, like, especially, I wasn't really born in the U.S. I was born in the Dominican Republic, but I became a citizen at a young age. So I know what real poverty looks like.
Right.
So just me being up here right now, I feel bad because I'm not really that poor compared to what I've actually seen.
Got you. Yeah, compared to the DR, or like with Nino, like we could talk about not only Hurricane Maria, but we could talk about other folks in PR. Anybody else? What else was?
Like, I don't know, I've never really like went to sleep like hungry or like thinking like where my next meal is going to be, where I'm going to stay. I've always like had like a house over my head. Like if I wasn't staying with my parents, I was staying like with my grandparents or something, but like they were at work. But like I've never really had to like worry about where I lived or whatnot. I feel like some people like, you know, they move around all the time. But me, I've been pretty like steady in my community, so.
Got you. So you know, all of you know people who are a step lower on the ladder that you're saying to yourself, no, those people are poor. That's not really me, which is a little bit, and by all of you know people on the ladder who are above you, right? Who are like, nah, man, I might be rich, but there are a lot of other people who are much wealthier than I am, right? Whether it's back home in PR in Nigeria or New Jersey or wherever, right? So it's a kind of similar thing. So if you're at the top, you're going to hesitate to come up here because of that. And if you're at the bottom, you're going to hesitate because maybe you're not as poor. Same with you, bro? I mean, would you say the same thing? But why did you hesitate coming up?
Because it wasn't always as bad as it is now. Like I said, like growing up, I was like lower middle class, but then I just like, it was just poverty afterwards. Like,
got you.
And yeah, so like right now, like I said, I live with my cousin in Philly, like when it's not during school time. And so that's like a 2-bedroom, like half house with like 8 people in the household. So it's definitely, it wasn't always, like I wasn't always in like that position, but I am now.
Yeah, okay, I got you. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to now have a conversation. So I want you all to stay up. We're going to do a couple things. I'm going to move you around, and we're going to do a couple things. So, by the way, bro, how expensive were those jeans? $50? All right. Okay. Just wondering. So can we go with hey, is there a... Yeah, I'm looking for that now. Okay. So we're going to go here, 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 and right here. So when you all see the word privilege, okay? Now we're going to talk about it. What do you see? What do you think about? What do you see? So think about these 5 gentlemen here, and think about these 5 folks right here. What do you think about in terms of privilege? So we're talking about diversity, inclusion, privilege. Who has privilege? Which group has the most privilege? Who are the groups here? Wait, hang on. Who are the groups? We're going to hit reset completely. Reset. And I'm bringing people up. I'm going to bring 5 people at the bottom end of the ladder in this room. They're not in the bottom end of the ladder in the world or even in the United States. But in this room, yes, right? Because you know people that are below you. And we're bringing people more at the upper end of the ladder, not the very peak of the ladder, but in this room. Okay? Privilege. Who has the privilege? And who has more privilege? Which of the people sitting on this table have the most privilege? Here, stand out here. So who has the most privilege? And who sitting right here has the most privilege? And how do you define privilege? Economic power, political power, cultural privilege, social privilege. Nino here speaks 3 languages. So he speaks Italian, he speaks Spanish, and he speaks English. And you speak English without any kind of an accent. So I'm assuming you probably... Do you speak Italian without any kind of an accent too? Yeah, I do. Okay, so... Yeah, you do, right? So listen, so he is trilingual, can go right into the accent. That's a cultural privilege. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like so who has the most privilege? Who has the least? When we think about privilege in a race relations class, like Soc 119, as we did when I first brought the first 4 people up here, what are you thinking? And so what I want to say is, one of the first things we think about is inequality. Because it's just the nature of how we talk about race relations in the United States. So you can kind of all turn around here. Now, I don't have Native Americans here, but look, median family wealth with durable goods. Look at the difference in family wealth. This is the kind of stuff we talk about all the time. Again and again and again, we start talking about race in the United States. The first thing we link it to is economics. Because race and economics are the first 2 things that fundamentally are linked, irrevocably linked. And then this is the kind of thing that we see. Look at the difference. Look at this. So median family, that means half of all white families. This is the halfway point. Half of all white families are up here, and half of all white families are down here. 134K in 2013 is the median. Asians, Hispanics, blacks, and I'll show you Native Americans in a few minutes, right? Or we look at this. Check out this slide. So this is in 2013. This is actually really easy to interpret. I'm going to walk you through it. Everyone pay attention here. Median wealth by race and income. Okay? So this is in thousands of dollars. So this is percentile. So this would be the wealthiest 10% of white people, black people, and Hispanic people. We don't have Asians. We don't have Native Americans. So of the wealthiest 10% of white people, black people, Hispanic people, this is the amount of wealth that white people have. This is the amount of wealth that black people have, a lot less. And this is the amount of wealth that Hispanics have. The wealthiest black people, the wealthiest Hispanics, they're still lagging far behind white people. Then look at the second 10%. And then the second 20%. And then look here as it goes down. And down here, pretty much everybody's the same. So race, it really is about race, meaning that no matter what, if we take the wealthiest people of these groups right here, so look at white people, Asians, black people, Hispanics, still the two white people are going to, on average, be much better off than the black person or the Hispanic person. You see that, right? That's how we talk about race. That's how this stuff works. This is privilege. We immediately start thinking about privilege, and we also immediately link it to white people. White privilege. How many times did people look at you in a class like this and see white and think like, oh, white privilege? But never look at you and think privilege, right? Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to do this. By the way, one of the problems with that narrative is that it's very narrow in the way we come to understand the dynamics of race relations in the United States. This assumption, walking through the world with this assumption that there is this thing called white privilege, because any class on race in the U.S., that's going to be at least one of the lectures, if not 2 or 3. White privilege. We don't ever get an opportunity to look at the ways in which, can we talk about the white people that are not privileged? Can we talk about the black and brown people that are privileged, that do have more? Can we talk about the way these things can come together? That's not the discourse in the United States. And it matters. If we're not talking about that, we're missing a big part of the story. So here, y'all, gentlemen, come follow me really fast up the stairs. So imagine there's a starting line, and it matters. So let's put you like right, let's hear, Nino, come on up here. You go like right here. And bro, you go a couple steps up. And you go next to, go one step up. And bro, you go next to Mark up there. And you go next to Mark up there, okay? So let's just say, maybe like all of you be on like that step, all right? Okay, so here we are. Now you all, come here. Let's put you down here. And Carly, we're going to put you right here. And then you all are just going to be right behind her. So we're going to put Carly just a tiny, you can be like side by side, okay? Like fan out. So we're going to put you just a tiny bit out front, only because you're white. And because if I look at these numbers, we're going to say like, okay, we're going to give you just a little bit, because we're talking about averages here. We're not talking about individuals. We're going to talk about averages and what we tend to see. Now we have the starting line. It matters. It matters. So who has the privilege? Look at it. This is the starting line. So the race to the top up here, so you all are here at Penn State, you're here to get degrees, you're here to make money, you're here to climb the ladder of economic success, right? So to climb up here. But look where we're starting from. We're not starting at an equal place. So everyone in the room is starting at a different place. And so nobody's going to argue that this doesn't matter. Like Carly can work as hard as her mom, and everyone down here can work, like multiple jobs, right? Y'all can work lots of jobs. You can work as many hours as you want. You can try to put overtime in. You can do whatever, right? But the fact is, come on, man, just look at the cars, right? You're driving cars. If you add them all up, the cost of those cars, they cost more than like Carly's basic double wide. Or almost double wide. So we know it matters. But I want to show you the way in which it matters even more. Because watch, if they start moving up the ladder of upward mobility, so they work really hard at Penn State, and they bust their tails, and they do everything they're supposed to do. And they study, and they get great grades, and they get internships, and they get everything they could possibly get. And while they're doing that, and they're climbing up these steps, what are these guys doing? What are they doing? The whole time, they're preparing themselves for their upward mobility. What are they doing? What are they doing? What's that? They're doing the same thing. So no matter how fast they come up the stairs, these 5 guys are going to go just as fast or faster. So this idea that, well, poor people can pull themselves up by the bootstraps, right? Well, so can rich people. What do you think? Rich people just stand around and get handed shit? I mean, you all are working for what you have. Like, you're all busy busting your rear ends, right? So you're not just sitting around partying and doing nothing and buying your grades. So you're doing... So while they're busting their tails, because, you know, they have less money and they want to get ahead and they want to do what they want to do. Well, so are these guys. And so here's the question. Black people don't, brown people may or may not, and that's just kind of how it is. And then where do we go? We don't understand the story. And let me show you why it matters here really fast. So hang on, y'all. Just kind of stand there awkwardly for another hot minute. I want to show you a couple of things. The starting line matters. And none of these folks said that they just got something from their parents. They're all working for it. Look at this. Can you all see this? Check this out. Where you start, where your parents are, okay? The wealthiest 90% of them, the wealthiest 10% of Americans, the wealthiest 10%, if that's your parents, this is your expected income. If you're a woman, if you're a man, okay? On average. For the wealthiest, that means you all, right? Let me just put you all here. That's going to be your your average starting income right there. But look down here at the bottom 10%. Because some of you are not at the bottom 10%. But let's bring it down here nonetheless, right? That's your anticipated income. So wait, hang on a second. You can work, and you can work, and you can work, and you can work just as hard as these 5 gentlemen up here. You could do the same things. You can go through Penn State, you can get the same grades, the same kinds of internships, the same everything. And when we average it all out, look at you all. This is going to be you up here. And that's going to be them down here. And they're not down here because they're choosing to be down here. They're down here because that's where they're at. And so here, let's look at another one. College is worth less if you're raised poor. Here's a bachelor's degree if your parents are not poor. That's your expected income. Here's a BA degree. If you get a BA degree and your parents are poor, that's your expected income at the age of 61. And here's a high school degree if your parents are not poor, and a high school degree if your parents are poor. What's this have to do with anything, y'all, right? What's it have to do? It's called all the kinds of things that you all get and receive that you don't even know you get and receive. It's just part and parcel of being alive, right? And you, dude, David, come on, man. All the kinds of things that they're getting that you're not going to get, right? Like here. What are some things that you think they're going to get that you won't get? Because this is a big difference in income. Look at that. It's like $40,000. It's more than $40,000 difference by the time you're 61.
I feel like it's the old saying, the rich get richer, poor stay poor.
Or they can also get richer, just not as rich. If you do all the right things, right? I mean, this is the nature of it. Do you have anything you want to add? Anybody? What's it like to look at that? Knowing that if you do everything you're supposed to do you want to add to it? That doesn't matter. You get a BA degree. Your BA degree can be the same. You can get the same grades. You can do all the same stuff as these guys right here. And look, that's where you're at. You're still coming out behind.
I just know that my debt is going to set me back, unlike the guys that's standing up there that are debt free. I mean, I know that I'm be set that back multiple years, like the graph states. Man.
So your debt's going to set you back.
For sure.
Sure, for sure, man. That's like a house payment.
So I feel like the bigger eye-opener is, let's say I land the same job and position as one of those guys up there. They don't have any debt to pay, but at the end of the day, I could be earning the same amount per hour or salary, but I still have all this debt that I have to take care of. That's the more eye-opener or takeaway that I take from this.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone want to add anything up here? Do you guys ever think about this? Like how far ahead you're going to be? Do you ever think about it? Do you ever think about those guys? How often do you think about those guys down there who are like, they're just like you. They're doing the same thing, and yet they're just never going to get to where you... One of them might, but come on, let's face it, man. They're probably never going to get to where you guys are at.
I mean, I think about it all the time, but it's just, that's why I try to be humble about, like, where I come from, like, kind of like work my mom puts in for me to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely not going to, like, look down upon you guys just because, like, you make less money than all of us here put together do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still people at the end of the day.
Cool. You want to add anything, bro? Anyone want to add? Do you have anything you want to throw out? I mean, it's really interesting, right? By the way, I don't want y'all to feel guilty and shit and, like, think you got to give them the keys to your cars or whatever. It's not about that. Look, here's another quick thing right here. So I just have one final thing I want to do. So here's income. Look at Native Americans down here. This is median household income, okay? So here's Asian, here's white, non-Hispanic, here's everybody, here's Hispanic, here's black. Look at these differences here, right? So on average, even between you all, like on average, the two of you are definitely at the lower end. On average. It's not really the case here, but on average it is. And same would be true down there, on average, right? So take a look at this. SAT scores by family income. Take a look at this. The wealthy you are, the wealthier your families are, the higher your SAT scores. That's a serious difference right there. Look at that. Man, what's SAT have to do with families? That means you guys are going to have kids. If you're not making as much as them, first off, your scores were higher on average just because of your parents, right? And their scores are lower on average just because of their parents. And that's true across in the room here. Scores are higher if your family has more money. And it just goes on and on and on, and you can't get around it, and we don't talk about that. And it has nothing to do, this right here has nothing to do with race even. It's just about the world. Listen, man. Hey, gentlemen. Thanks, dog. Nina. Rogers, thanks. Tim, thanks. Jordan, right? And Mark, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Okay. Hey, can you give them a hand? Because they were like... Dude, David. Let's see if I got it. Sarah, Carly, Corsi, and Eric. Dude, thanks, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. And give them a hand, too, man. I'm a racist against white people? Comments on the live stream? Oh, damn, dog. Wait, racist against white people?
Because we feel guilty and we're sorry.
Oh, no, listen. Wait, hang on. Yo, hang on. Hang on. Put me on yellow, Joy. I want to talk to the live stream viewers for a second. So the idea is that I'm racist because I'm trying to get white people to feel guilty? Dude, far from it. I'm trying to get black and brown people to feel guilty. I'm trying to get rich black and brown people to take responsibility for being rich black and brown. Because all we do in this world is talk about white privilege, white privilege. I'm not seeing Carly's white privilege compared to Rogers, compared to a lot of other folks. I'm not seeing it. And that's a discourse that we're not having. So hang on, put me on green now. So look, so the issue is we should be having this conversation because when we go to something like diversity and inclusion, we're going to have everybody talks about diversity and inclusion. And what we're talking about really is uplifting black and brown people and including them into the world of white people on an equal basis so that everybody is fundamentally equal. But if we're not talking about class along with diversity, then what we're doing is we're leaving out an entire population of people. And that, my friends, is the reason that Donald Trump is president of the United States, because that's what we do. And a lot of poor poorer white people who hear nothing but diversity and inclusion, and all they do is imagine all of these many programs and many realities in which we uplift black and brown people and we pull down white people, and they're not seeing themselves get uplifted or not seeing anything that allows white people to move forward, poor white people. And then what happens as a result of that is people find some populist like Donald Trump and they vote for him because he starts pointing that stuff out. Talking about racism against white people. And so really what I'm trying to do here is not call more well-off black and brown people to account for these things, but really what I'm trying to do is extend and amplify and grow the conversation in ways that it currently isn't. Who has a question? But we have 5 minutes, so I want to know 4 minutes. Who has a question they want to kick out? Do we have one on the stream? What's that? Who has a question they want to ask? Bro. Dude, and you have a suit on, so you have to stand up because the world needs to see how well dressed Penn State students are. What's your name?
My name's Eddie.
Eddie?
Yes.
Okay, your question.
Yes. So can we go back to the previous chart with like the different families' income and all of them earning bachelor's degree, but they have varying incomes?
Yeah, can you go one more? One more.
So we never actually, we see this correlation, but I've never actually like straight up discussed what the exact cause of this is. So
yeah. Okay.
So do we have any like links as to what's causing this? And
yeah, we will. We will talk about it.
We will talk about it.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I mean, for me, the way I like to run this class is we sort of just touch on little tiny things here and there, but ultimately, yeah, we will talk about what's some of the source of the inequality that we do see.
Okay.
And remember, y'all, right? Hang on. This is one of the complicated things. So look at this. Look at this. This is real. And yet, so we look at these differences here. As we look at these differences, still, half of all black people in the United States are middle class. So think about that, right? Yeah, but we will come back to that.
That's tease.
Cool. Who else? Who has a question? Who's got a question you want to ask? Dude, can I ask someone who's black, how is it to have me talking about wealthy black people in here? Can I ask someone, like, how is that? What are you thinking? Dudes, can I ask you? How is that? Because you were going to stand up as one of the wealthy.
So I agree.
What's your
with
name,
you.
by the way?
My name's Milena.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mixed, so like I can understand I understand a lot of sides when you talk about the different issues between white and black people because I grew up.
Can you stand up?
Yeah. So my mom's white and my dad's black, so I grew up in both sides of the spectrum. But I didn't grow up poor. I come from money, and I'm very fortunate. But my parents raised me to kind of know that they had to work for that. And they give back to the community. So for me, I agree in the sense that I think if you are wealthy, no matter what race, you need to give back because you obviously didn't start there. Most people don't just start wealthy, like whether it's your parents or your grandparents. They had to work to get to that point. So I think it's important to give back in any aspect to a different community or just different groups because not everyone is as fortunate.
Okay, final quick question. Yo, hang on. Final quick question. How is it to be here all the time for you as someone who's mixed? We link black people with poverty and white people with wealth. How is that for you? Because you're sort of stuck in the middle.
I think people sometimes judge you, definitely. If you are black, I think a lot of people will assume you don't have money. For me being mixed, I don't really like I don't judge people. Like
Got
I've
it.
just grown up being mixed and going through situations where people judge me for being mixed,
All
that I don't judge other people.
Okay, cool, man. Thanks. All right, y'all. We'll see you on Thursday.